This will probably be good. You watch these sometimes? Yeah.
Welcome to Audit the Audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers use of force, officer obstruction, and official misconduct, and is brought to us by Cameras Everywhere's channel. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. On July 26, 2021, Officer David Lance Dukes of the Orangeburg Department of Public Safety responded to a call regarding a man banging on a townhouse door, allegedly with a gun in his waistband. When he arrived on the scene, Officer Dukes
You watch the other ones? Yeah, this look good though.
immediately drew his gun and ordered 58-year-old disabled man Clarence Gaillard and his cousin Mario Julian, who were standing in the parking lot outside the townhouse, to the ground.
Hey, let me see your hands. Bert, get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground right here. Get on the ground. You, Burgundy shirt, get on the ground. Over here. On the ground. On the ground.
Bro, it must be scary, man. It must be so, like, honestly, they've got to do something, bro. They've got to do something. Like, in the UK, they don't go around pulling out your guns and shit, and it's fine, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I would be scared for my dad if we lived in America, bro. I'd be terrified. If I was a black man in America, I'll be fucking shitting it, bro. I've been shitting it, bro. Like, it's so unfair, and like they say, like, yeah, but you never know if they have a weapon and shit. Like, bro, one, no one's gonna fucking shoot up the cop. No one, like, when do you hear people shoot up the cop? Do you guys hear people shooting up the cop? I never hear of anyone shooting up a cop, bro. That's the last person you're gonna shoot up. Have guns on you as a protection. Rubber bullets, yeah, good idea. Have guns on you as a protection, right? Because it's America, everyone has guns, right? Fair enough. But where you don't see any weapon here, bro. He's fucking got his gun out. Like, what the fuck?
Get on the ground. Do you not listen? Get on the ground.
Mr. Gaillard attempts to comply with
You've seen videos on YouTube of people shooting cops. Wait, really? Oh shit, never mind, what the fuck? Really?
Officer Dukes' orders by getting onto his hands and knees, but Officer Dukes forcefully uses his foot to attempt to force Mr. Gaillard all the way to the ground, causing his head to violently hit the pavement. In the 1989 case of Graham versus Connor, the Supreme Court explained that the Fourth Amendment requires a police officer's use of force to be quote-unquote reasonable under the circumstances, and identified 3 factors that courts should consider when determining whether an instance of force was reasonable. These factors include, quote, the severity of the crime at issue, whether the suspect poses an immediate threat to the safety of the officers or others, and whether he is actively resisting arrest or attempting to evade arrest by flight. More recently, in the 2016 case of Armstrong versus Village of Pinehurst, the Fourth Circuit, which includes South Carolina, held that, quote, non-compliance with lawful orders justifies some use of force, but the level of justified force varies based on the risks posed by the resistance. Even purely passive resistance can support the use of some force, but the level of force an individual's resistance will support is dependent on the factual circumstances underlying that resistance. In this situation, the severity of the crime at issue was limited at best, although Officer Dukes claimed to believe that Mr. Gaillard had a gun at the beginning of the interaction. However, at the time Officer Dukes used force against Mr. Gaillard, it was clear that he did not pose an immediate threat, as he had raised both of his empty hands above his head before getting on his hands and knees. Finally, Mr. Gaillard was not resisting arrest in any way. In fact, he was attempting to comply with Officer Dukes' commands when the force was employed. Under these circumstances, it is highly likely that a court would conclude that Officer Dukes' use of force against Mr. Gaillard was neither justified nor reasonable.
Is there a gun back there?
Ain't no gun.
By that truck.
Ain't no gun.
You're not listening, dude.
Yeah, it's really bad, risky.
Bro, you got a gun on you, man?
No, I ain't got no gun. I
I'm
don't
just
want no gun.
Turn back over. Paul, do you watch him say?
Yeah, he is 98.
He had something.
I ain't on no gun.
The door's unlocked, it's not always shut.
No, he was right here. Watch him. Go watch him.
The thing is, they seem like they definitely seen something. You know what I mean? They don't seem sus about that. They seem like they actually believe they see something.
There it is.
Oh, buy it?
Alright, that's what he had.
Oh shit.
Alright, who's the complainant? Alright, get him up.
It's a stick.
Put your leg up.
25 cents, got one tank.
Alright. Put your leg that way so you
I'm
can stand
confused.
up.
Alright, listen, I'm about to help you. Hold on.
Wait, was it
Alright,
actually a stick? I thought it was something wrapped in foil.
Alright. That's what he had.
No, yeah, it's something wrapped in sellotape.
Report filed.
And
Yeah.
yeah, you want
Put your leg up.
25 cents, got one tank.
Alright. Put your leg that way so you can
I'm
stand
confused.
up.
Alright, listen, I'm about to help you. Hold on. Alright, ready? 1, 2, 3. Alright,
Apart from standing on them, so far not bad.
Yep.
Listen.
Yep, they slammed my head
Listen.
down on the cement. Yep.
go back
That's
inside.
bad.
Go back in the house. Go back in the
Yeah.
house. Ain't nobody talking to you.
I got head drummer.
Go back in the house.
Yep. Y'all bust my head down. Yeah, I've been in an accident. Yep. Y'all bust my head down. You throw me down.
I sure did.
And
You wasn't listening.
Yep. No, it ain't. You ain't to throw me down like that. I'm disability.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
no
got
risk.
head problem. Yep. You throw me down. Yep. You throw me down. You throw me down. Yep. You bust my head down on the cement. Yep. You bust my head.
Alright, let me tell you what.
His forehead.
You bust my head down on the cement.
He was in front of the car when I came up. And he was walking like this. And I thought it was a gun at first. I said, drop the gun. Had him at gunpoint.
You
And he's
bust
over
my
here
head.
doing something like this.
You slam my head. You slam my
What
head
he was doing is
down
putting
in
this up behind the
cement.
tire. So he comes over right here. He got his hands in his pockets. I'm telling him, let me see your hands.
What is that?
Bust my head.
He wasn't listening.
No, it ain't.
He got like this right here.
You grab me.
And we went on to the
And
ground.
you bust my head.
Officer Dukes claims that when Mr. Gaillard was walking from behind the white vehicle, he believed that he had a gun and repeatedly told him to drop it. Officer Dukes also alleges that once Mr. Gaillard stepped in front of the vehicle,
Yeah, no,
he had his
what
hands in
is
his
it?
pockets and repeatedly ignored requests to show his hands. However, the body cam footage shows that Mr. Gaillard
Bruh.
actually had his hands above his
Bruh.
head, and that while Officer Dukes repeatedly screamed at Mr. Gaillard,
Why would you have to force this guy down, bro, when he's instantly put his hands up? What? Are we dumb? Like,
ground, he never asked him to drop a gun or show his hands, likely because Mr.
Instantly,
Gaillard's
hands up,
were
bro.
visible throughout the encounter. An incident report filed by Corporal Brandy Smith, who was also on the scene, states that while Mr. Gaillard was walking from the passenger side of the vehicle, he appeared to have his hands in his pockets, but that once he reached the front of the vehicle, he took his hands out of his pockets. Corporal Smith's report also states that Officer Dukes was giving loud verbal commands for Mr. Gaillard to get on the ground, but makes no mention of a gun or any commands to drop a gun or show his hands. It's also important to note that when Officer Dukes was reporting what happened, he did not explain the method he used to take Mr. Gaillard down. Corporal Smith's report claimed that when Mr. Gaillard did not get completely on the ground, Officer Dukes pushed him to the ground by
riding his
placing
foot.
his right foot on the middle of Mr. Gaillard's back. However, the incident report filed by Sergeant Aquel Polidor states that Officer Dukes, quote, jumped up and stomped Mr. Gaillard on the back of his neck with his foot. Although it is unclear from the body camera footage whether Officer Dukes' foot landed on Mr. Gaillard's neck or upper back, it is certain that the version of events Officer Dukes explained to his commanding officer did not align with the body camera footage or the reports filed by his colleagues.
Down on the cement. You bust my
Yeah,
forehead.
your head did hit the cement.
Right, cause you bust me down on the cement.
Where's the complainant?
You bust my head down.
there's no like, oh, sorry for like pushing you down so hard. I thought you had a gun. You know what I mean? Like, oh, sorry for pushing you down so hard, man. We got the EMS on the way. I thought you had a gun. He's just, yeah, I did hit your head on the cement. Like, why is he proud? He's like, yeah, I did hit your head on the cement. What? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? No, I mean?
Right here?
You bust my head. You bust my head.
Where's the complaint?
The memo's waking up, yeah.
Mother complaining.
You
So
bust my head.
What are we doing? Guess Sam's gonna check him out.
Ain't nobody
There ain't nothing about here want to press charges on.
Who called?
I'm not sure.
Take him out of cuffs right now. I mean, because that's what we
You're
got.
gonna have to use it for us.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
slam my head down.
Dude, I didn't know what his
You
intention
use
was.
it for us. You need to have a look at the camera.
All right.
The officer did wrong. Slam my head down. Bust my forehead. Damn right. You gonna pay me?
The guy's like 60 years old, bro. Maybe older. Like, what the fuck, man?
Mayor, I'm gonna take that into evidence of what he had.
A stick, bro.
Well, I mean, that's the reasons I did what I did.
Bro, even a commanding officer is thinking, you're a twat, bro. The commanding officer is like, for what? And he's like, oh, what? That's the reason what I did. Shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up.
I mean,
52.
that's the reasons I did what I did. You know what I'm saying? That's
The commanding officer is a
where I come
twat.
from.
No gun or nothing.
The commanding officer doesn't know that he's in the wrong.
Because when he was behind the truck, I couldn't see what he was doing, and I didn't know where
There ain't nothing there.
That looks like a
he was
gun.
doing in his pockets when he come around that car with his hands in his pockets.
These dogs officer.
Got it
No.
on camera.
Yeah, a
All
dog
right, that's
stick.
fine.
A dog stick.
So he can come out of cuffs.
He's not having any of it. I think, yeah, he told him to get him out of ankle. I think he knows that this cop is absolute bullshit, bro.
Yeah, he can come out.
Yeah, risky, 100%. Is it constitutional law they have in America so they can create laws as needed? Wait, what do you mean? What you say?
you mind looking?
Bro, the old man has his head busted, bro. Sitting down or some shit, man. You know what I mean? Bro, if I got my fucking head listen, if I got my head busted, I'm this age, and they're making me stand up and shit, I'm just gonna fucking swim for them, bro. Fuck it. Why not at this point, bro? They're pissing me off, man. Bro, I'll be dead. I'll be dead in a minute. I'd be dead in a minute. I'd actually be dead in a minute.
Hi. Good, how are you? What's going on?
Officer slammed my forehead down in the cement.
Okay.
In the wrong place.
Lose consciousness?
Yeah. Listen.
Can I get a card from you?
I don't have one there. We
Okay,
don't have.
what's your
They
badge
don't give us cards.
Okay, what's your badge number?
1059.
Let me see if I can get my phone. Hold on.
Hold on, we have cards.
I get ready.
Okay, thank you.
When Mr. Julian asks Officer
Oh shit! Yo, W. The look from this, bro. The look at this, W.
Dukes for a business card, Officer Dukes claims they are not issued cards by their department. However, Sergeant Poldador immediately corrects Officer Dukes,
Yeah,
states
yeah.
that they do have cards,
Good
and
shit.
provides Mr. Julian with the information he requested.
Good-
If
the-
it was
the
concluded
stare,
that
bro.
Officer Dukes intentionally lied to Mr. Julian in an attempt to avoid accountability for his actions, it is possible that he could be convicted of 2 common law crimes under South Carolina law: obstruction of justice and official misconduct. In the 1997 case of State versus Lyles Gray, a court of appeals in South Carolina upheld convictions for both of these offenses against an officer in the Camden Police Department for her conduct during a...
What's good, Grants? But risky, the thing is, right? The thing is, they can't predict that he's gonna do shit like this, right? But it's good that now, like, these precautions are coming into place. You know what I mean? Like, the body cams, like, are they being required that they have to wear them now and shit like that? So, like, they're definitely moving in the right direction. And, like, the other cops are like, bro, you're fucking twat. And then he gets fired and arrested, bro. It said good cop gets bad cop fired and arrested. That's a W. That's good. But it's definitely heading in the right direction. It's still fucked, and unfortunately, a lot of bad shits had to happen for this to happen. But fuck me. Yeah, he got fired, bad cop fired and arrested.
Criminal investigation. The court explained that, quote, under common law obstruction of justice, it is an offense to do any act which prevents, obstructs, impedes, or hinders the administration of justice, and that, quote, misconduct in...
Read your last, man. 20 years ago, what happened? Yep. Yeah, that's mad feet. How you doing, Grimes? 2 years? Holy fuck.
An office occurs when persons in public office fail to properly and faithfully
It is
discharge a
mad.
duty imposed by law. In this situation, the court concluded that the officer obstructed justice and committed misconduct in office by failing to interview witnesses after her daughter was
somebody
identified
innocent
as a
in prison.
suspect, obtaining a false arrest warrant for another suspect, and withholding evidence. While Officer Dukes' lie about whether the department issues identification cards did not rise to the same level of misconduct, given the broad definition of both of these offenses, it is still possible that he could be convicted if charged. However, it is important to note that while some states legally require officers to provide ID to citizens upon request, South Carolina law does not place this obligation on officers. Additionally, many police departments have policies requiring that officers identify themselves.
Oh, you
but
a
the
CBEP?
Orangeburg
Holy
Department
shit.
of Public Safety's policy is not publicly available, and
How you
it is
doing, bro?
unclear whether their policy adheres to any form of officer identification guidelines.
Yo, the stare. Yo, I love that stare, man. The stare is like, you're a fucking dickhead. That stare is, oh my god, yes. Love the stare.
Brandon, he can get his stuff off the car.
What is he waving, bro?
10:59.
Yeah, I'm good, Seabed, bro. What you been up to?
After Mr. Gaillard was treated by EMS, he and Mr. Julian were allowed to leave. 2 days after the incident, Officer Dukes was fired from the Orangeburg Department of Public Safety for violating the department's use of force policies.
Bro,
which-
he looks like a dickhead. He looks like a dickhead. Me and my cam. He looks like a dickhead, bro, don't he? He looks like one. Was it into TikTok? Now it's getting boring. What, for that long?
as stated before, are not publicly available. On August 25th, 2021, former Officer Dukes was charged with first-degree assault and battery, which could carry a sentence of up to 10 years in prison. As of the date of this episode, Mr. Gaillard is represented by an attorney, but he has not yet taken any legal action against Officer Dukes or the department. Overall, former Orangeburg Officer Dukes gets an F for physically assaulting Mr. Gaillard for no apparent reason, blatantly lying about the nature of the interaction in his police report, and for making a concerted effort to avoid being held accountable for his ridiculous antics. At no point during this encounter was Mr. Dukes in any danger, and it is clear that his violent actions were motivated by his ego, not officer or civilian safety. There was absolutely no legitimate excuse for shoving Mr. Gaillard's face into the pavement when
You
it was
shouldn't have an
plainly
ego in the
obvious
police
that he was
force.
attempting to surrender. And this is exactly the type of conduct that has sparked nationwide unrest regarding members of law enforcement. Mr. Dukes' feeble attempts to explain his actions and manipulate the facts of the encounter only add to his incredulous and insidious behavior, and his conduct was nothing short of unacceptable. I
Yeah,
commend
they have authority and power, right? But your job is literally to help people. Fucking having an ego is so stupid. Not the military, mate. You're not the fucking military. Your job isn't to like fucking go to war and shit. Your job is to fucking protect people and help people.
The Orangeburg Department of Public Safety for immediately firing Mr.
Praise to
Dukes
them,
and
yeah.
pursuing criminal charges against him. And if there were a lower grade than an F, he certainly deserves that. Sergeant Polidor gets an A+ for remaining truthful and objective throughout the encounter, ensuring that Mr. Julian was given the necessary information to follow up on the incident, and for maintaining a calm, collected, and professional attitude throughout the interaction. Although it cannot be proven with any degree of certainty, I suspect that Sergeant Polidor was highly involved in the Orangeburg Department's decision to fire and charge Mr. Dukes, and the testimony that she offered in her incident report likely played a vital role in making certain that he was held accountable for his actions. Officers who witness acts of misconduct are often placed in a position where they must consider whether reporting that misconduct is worth the potential damage to their career that could arise from pursuing accountability for the actions of their colleagues. And it is all too common to see members of law enforcement justify the actions of their peers in any way they can to avoid facing the repercussions of speaking out against them. This notion was on full display in this very interaction when Sergeant Meyer fist bumped Mr. Dukes for an appropriate use of force without knowing any of the details beyond what Mr. Dukes had told him. I commend Sergeant Polidor for having the courage and conviction to hold Mr. Dukes accountable for his actions, and I sincerely hope that her actions inspire other officers who witness misconduct to come forward and do the same within their department. As for Mr. Gaillard...
Well, 98, I totally understand why they have lethal weapons, and that's because America has weapons, right? So they need lethal weapons. They need lethal weapons. They've got to have them. They got to have them on them. But they need to learn when to fucking pull it out. They pull it out in every scenario, bro. Someone would have flowers at the shop and they'll pull it out. Be trained in MMA instead of eating donuts. No, but they do need weapons because America has weapons. It's not like UK, you know what I mean? But like, they just need to have it on them. And if they see the gun, yo, it's a cowboy duel session. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But motherfuckers are like, yo, you just came out of the shop with a box of chocolates and the flowers. Get the fuck on the ground, man. Get the fuck on the ground. Hey, you on the ground? Hey, I stuck up my weapon to your fucking head, bro. You know, it's fucked up, bro. It's fucked up. She's only a 92-year-old lady. You know what I'm saying? Get the fuck on. Bro, what? Is it GTA, man? What the fuck? Riot Squad is for armed people. Yeah, but they need to have guns, though. They need to have guns, because how would they deal with, like, school shooters and fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, America's...
Mr. Julian, I cannot rightfully issue a grade to individuals whose actions were purely dictated by the conduct of the officers on the scene. Nothing the pair did was uncivil, and the two obeyed all the commands of the officers to the best of their ability without knowing the context of the encounter. It could certainly be argued that both Mr. Gaillard and Mr. Julian were both victims of police misconduct, one by way of physical violence, and the other by an attempt to avoid accountability. It should be noted that Mr. Julian made a legitimate effort to gather then Officer Dukes' personnel information, presumably in an effort to file a complaint against him, and I commend him for sensing that Mr. Dukes' actions were unlawful and doing what he could to hold him accountable. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you. Welcome to...